my name is Simon, I'm from Port 6, and in this tutorial today I'm going to show you how you can get these touch events connected with your Quest 2 or Quest Pro via Unity, and I'm going to show you how to set up your watch and how to set up Touch SDK, and yeah, let's dive into it. First thing that you need to do is go on our website on port6.io/SDK and press on Get Started. From there, you will get to our Notion page and press on Getting Started. So the requirements are an Android watch, obviously, and we can recommend the Galaxy Watch 4 from Samsung. The Android smartphone is optional, and I soon show you why. It's easier with an Android phone because you can just go in the Play Store and say install to my watch and set up everything over your phone. Yeah, I don't have one, for example, and so I'm going to show you the harder part, but it's also quite simple. So there's a video that shows you how to pass the setup via phone. There's a little hack around. You can just follow this, and afterwards, when you have your watch set up, I'm gonna show you what to do next, how you can sideload APKs. So we're gonna download the APK. Yeah, download. And then important is also that you have ADB installed. We have also a link in the Notion board. Here, if you don't have set it up ADB, press here. So first of all, before you sideload APKs, you need to set up developer mode. Therefore, you go to Settings, to the About section, About Watch, then to Software Info. Then you press 5 times onto Software Version, and you go back, and then press on Developer Options. You activate ADB debugging here and the debug over Wi-Fi. And here you can also note the IP address. You will need it later. And another option to get the IP address is to go into Control Center, hold and press the Wi-Fi symbol, go to your connected Wi-Fi, and here's also the IP address. Now that you have activated ADB debugging, you can, you can sideload your app. And therefore I just need to say as the IP address, and then install and the path to your APK, and it is in my downloads. I'm gonna copy the path. I have a tool called Path Copy, but you can copy it how you like. I forgot to connect to my watch. So first of all, we need to connect. I try to do as many mistakes as possible so you don't have to do them. Oh, it's the 6. I typed in the wrong IP. It worked, so it overwrote it. Let's see. Yeah, works. So if you have issues, check our documentations and do it exactly like there. And yes, to test it, you can try our web BLE demo. Connect port 6 controller and make sure you have your app running. connect it, and then you hit yes, and now it gets my rotation of the watch and the circle turned green. And you can also play with the haptics if you type in, for example, 1 and 100, and now I feel the haptics. Maybe you can hear it. Yeah, and you can also tap to activate and deactivate, and yes, that's it. Quick test, and it worked. Let's go back to our docs and jump to the next step. Now we want to install our Touch SDK. Therefore, you need a Quest device like Quest 2 or Quest Pro. Install the latest Unity version, and we recommend this one at the moment. And install Unity, the Oculus integration. You can follow this link or the tutorial from Dilma. It's also recommended to have the interaction SDK running. It's part of the integration kit. And yeah, afterwards, when you have that running, what I have, for example, here, you go onto download package, and you get automatically a file, and then you open this file. It should try to import. When you see this console log, it's done. And probably when you install it for the first time, you will also see this window with OpenUPM, and that's a good sign. Just close that and go to Windows, Window and Package Manager. There you see the Port 6 SDK, and on sample hit the button Import, and then you should get a samples folder here. Open it, open the scenes folder, and there you go. The next step is to understand the watch visualizer prefab. In this section, you can type in your watch ID to clarify that you want to connect to this one if you have more watches in the room, or if you want to speed up the connection process. Sometimes it's helpful for the play mode, for example. When you go to your watch and hit the settings button with 2 fingers, you can find the device ID. It's GX5J. Then we have several event inputs here. You can play with gestures. Gesture is the tap. Touch event is the touch display. Motion event is the bezel, left and right. Connect event is when it's connecting to a web interface or to Unity or to a computer or whatever. And also the same for disconnect, and yeah, also timeout. Then I'm gonna quickly show you how our visualizer manager looks like, and to understand what you need to implement these events into your project, into your scene. So let's maybe start with a task. So we want, for example, create a cube. We want to control a cube with our hand. This one, and we want that this cube, for example, changes color when we tap and rotates with our arm. Let's create a new script for that. So let's, for example, command. And the first thing you need to do is getting the right namespace. Then we need the watch manager. Now you see when we check what the watch manager has as values here, you can get the acceleration, the angular velocity, the gravity, is touching, rotary position, orientation, tap count. These are the valuable inputs that we're going to play with now. For example, we want the quaternion visualizer. We want the quaternion information. Let's get inspiration from here. So what this does is it gets the quaternion X, Y, Z, and W values, and we're gonna put that on our rotation transformation. Let's just copy the whole script from here, put it in ours. We don't need text output, so let's get rid of that. And we don't want to move other objects. We want to move the object that where the script is attached to. So, and we need to run this function from the update scene and pass variable quaternion. Is it? No, it's orientation, right? Orientation. So now the cube should rotate. And now we want the tab count. Let's see how these scripts are built. Yeah, tab count. Right, the tab count, as it is no state, so it's just an event that happens. Our watch manager just counts up, and with this script you can see if the count changed to the last count in relation to the time. So we need this. Let's copy the whole thing here. And also the renderer. Here, for example, let's put it there. Also here we don't need text output. This has to be an update. And let's put the variables on top here. So, and we need to run the update tab count function and pass the tab count from watch manager like this. So this should do the job. Let's see if we didn't forget anything. Looks good. Looks good. So what this does is it has the default color white in the update loop. When there is a tab detected, it changed the color to black. And the quaternion information, like here, the rotation will be mapped to our object transform. We're going to save this and connect the right game objects. So here we need the watch manager. The watch manager is here inside of the visualizer manager here. No, that is the watch manager, right? And just drag and drop the watch visualizer prefab and drag and drop the own mesh renderer. And that's basically it. Regarding play mode, we can hit play and wait 60 seconds and then the watch should connect automatically. This is very much in experimental mode, so sometimes it doesn't connect, but usually it should. In the next version, we're gonna update this and try our best to decrease this time. However, for now, we're gonna compile the app. So I can show you how it looks like in Quest. Let's add open scene. Okay, that's it, build and run. And yes. Okay, so now it's compiled. Let's jump into VR. I'm using the Meta Developer Hub to quickly connect, but you can also use SideQuest with screen copy or whatever you like. Quest needs to be on and active. Let's see what is from here. Not working. Yeah, it's always there. my part of cars. Yeah, perfect. Let's turn off the. Okay, so let's jump into our unknown sources and touch SDK. Because, yep. And make sure that your watch app is running so it can connect. I'm going to also show you the watch stream. Yep, now you see both. And after a few seconds, it should ask you to connect on your watch. Here, you see the window. When you say yes always, this prompt won't come again. So now you see the cube that we just created. It follows our hand, and when we tap, it gets black. Exactly what we wanted. And here, as short explanation, there's a visualization of your watch and the touch events and also the bezel events. And here the gyroscope, an accelerometer, and the quaternions. And you can also play with haptics when you look on this graph and you see this dot. When you put it to the top right, you have the haptic pattern that is long and powerful, or long and less powerful, or short and powerful. So you can just control power and length, as you see, and but that is still very, very helpful for giving slight feedback for your applications. That's basically it. So now you have a running scene. You installed Touch SDK and built your first script. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this first tutorial. In the next tutorial, we're going to show you how to combine this with eye tracking, how to combine this with the interaction SDK, so you can press buttons from Meta interaction SDK. And also we have a point and click feature, so you can use your watch as cursor and tap as click. So yeah, these are quite powerful new ways to interact with headsets or other devices, and we are very looking forward to what you're building with that. And yeah, let me know if this tutorial was helpful, and I'm looking forward to your creations. Thanks.